Hello, my Teaserking family. How are you today, Friday, 12th of July? Helps if you hit the right button, right? 12th of July, how's everybody? Well. Gold is still going north. Go through baseball. Gold, baseball, Mark McGwire. Yesterday, what a wonderful day I had in baseball. All right, we'll do gold first. All right. Gold, 24-13. It's down one. Big deal, but it survived. Your only derivative came early at 6 o'clock mark. Well, about the 5 o'clock mark, from 24.08 down to 23.93, which lasted about 2 seconds. And then the Chinese came in and popped it all the way to 24.18. And then it's a little bit of dive down to 24.14, we'll call it. But not bad. It survived the thing. We're not getting the 22 or the 23.80s or 70s. It got to 93 and then boom. And notice at 10 o'clock, not a whole lot of US action, which is always good news for us. Silver, 30.83, 30.82. But that's why we're looking at gold. Gold's the big one right now. Silver is coming very soon, everybody. So you'll be happy to see that. And we will listen to Mark McGwire to get more technical. A lot of it's China buying, India buying, and basically this blowing up. So COMEX is just about gone. We're ready to go to a physical market, Luke, very soon, by the third quarter. Again, these things take time. It's not like an auction that ends and you can say, oh, that's what I got. This takes a while, but we can see where it's headed. Again, you can see the boat, and the boat has hit the iceberg and the water's coming in, and Luke's going, when are we sinking? When's the boat sinking? Soon, Luke, soon. You can see what's happening. So anyway, just playing around with Luke. And that's what's happening here. You can see it's going, China setting the price. We're getting a physical price soon. And we're just ending this COMEX bullshit price fixing. But we must understand, because of the price fixing, we were able to buy a bunch of ounces of gold and silver at these ridiculously low prices. And I love when people go to sell, thinking, well, it's at the all-time high. It's like, no, that's the paper all-time high. We are living in the physical universe, and therefore we are trying to get a physical gold price, which we do not have. But I guarantee you, because they're doing this 96% leverage bullshit, they're saying there's a lot more ounces than there are. But there's only, so it's, in other words, it's like there's only 50 of these Mahomes cards physically. But if you did it paper like COMEX, you would say, well, we've got 5,000 of them. No, you don't. You only have 50. Yeah, but we're leveraging the others. And so it's priced as a 5,000 count card instead of a 50 count card. But now we're going to get where it's a 50 count card and that's all we've got. And that's how we're going to price it. That's why I'm saying gold is so much more than it is, because when you get to the physical and there's only 50 of them, there's not 5,000. Now you really get the buyers coming in. So look for the buyers to start noticing. I don't know these guys. I don't know what they're talking about when they say nobody's buying or there's no interest or whatever. They're not talking about us. They're talking about banks, I guess. So they're talking at that, but they don't explain what they're saying. That's what's confusing about them. But anyway, very happily, 24.14, 30.83. I might go buy some silver tomorrow. I don't know, another 10 or 20 ounces. According to Mark, it's once it moves, it's going to 50 with no problem. So, and the beauty is you only pay, like this is 3083, you only pay $32 for silver. Gold, you're paying $100. So it really is fascinating how much more gold is than silver, and there's really not. Silver's pretty freaking limited too. But anyway, you'll start realizing it. So here we go. Get your gold and silver now, because you're not going to be able to get it. It's going to be, it'll be out there much higher. That's why I worry about, taking 10, 15 ounces of silver to buy an ounce of gold. In theory, it's perfect. In reality, will there be gold to get 3-4 months down the road when gold goes, gold sitting at 5,000? You're going to walk into your store and say, here's 15 ounces of silver for, oh, wait, you don't have any gold? Then what do they do? And are they going to want to trade? Well, it won't matter. They'll give you, let's say they're correlated. So it's, $7,000 gold and $7,000 gold and let's say 700 silver. So theoretically 10 ounces would buy it. And they don't want to trade for you. Well, you can sell them the silver and they'll give you 7,000, and then you take the money and buy the gold. I mean, that's fine. You'll have the money. So keep that in mind. Anyway, so that's what's going on in gold and silver. So it's a good Friday, 24.13. Hold at 24, get through Monday, and then here comes 25 on the way to 3,000. And it's headed. It's going there. Again, it's not, once we get out of the paper derivative bullshit into reality and get away from Madoff, we then start getting a physical price. And that's what Mark McGwire is going to talk about today. And that's what we always talk about, right? So let's go to the diamond. I've been watching these World Series. It's pretty cool. I was just watching the 1976 World Series with Boston and Cincinnati. What are Team Cincinnati? I mean, you watch the Tigers. They don't have a hitter over like 270, right? They got 5 hitters hitting under 200. Then you get to this. Well, we're going to have Rose lead off, the best hitter ever. And he'll be followed by, Ken Griffey Sr. And then we're going to, who's like hits 300. Then we're going to go to Joe Morgan, Hall of Famer, Johnny Bench, Hall of Famer, Tony Perez, Hall of Famer. And George Foster comes after that. How do these guys ever lose a game? They didn't have pitching was their problem. They had weak pitching. Again, all offense like Dan Marino. Great offense, no defense. And I was watching the Oakland. Louis Tiant pitched game 6 of that World Series, 86 World Series, 76 World Series. So Louis Tiant pitches and it rains for 2 or 3 days. So he pitches on 3 days rest, a complete game, 163 pitches. Could you imagine today, Louis? It's the 5th inning. You got to come out. Oh my God, he 163 inning pitches and he wins the game against the lineup I just told you. This is the point. This pitch count's absolutely ridiculous. This 5-day rest is absolutely ridiculous. I'm watching the World Series. Oh, Bob Gibson, he's pitching on 2 days rest. And then we get to, Sandy Koufax, he's going on 2 days rest. Mel Stottlemyre, 2 days, that's fine. He had 2 days to rest. All right, he's pitching. And he just Catfish Hunter. In the Oakland run in the 70s, it was Vita Blue and Catfish Hunter and Blue Moon Odom. Blue Moon Odom's hitting home runs, and he's pinch hitting and he's pinch running. I love it. And So he's pitching his game. He goes about 7 innings. They need a reliever. Oh, in comes Catfish Hunter. He gets a couple guys out, and then the ninth, here comes Raleigh Fingers, and that was it. That's what you have to have, the Raleigh Fingers. You have to have that ace in the bullpen. Critical. And you go to him in the eighth and ninth, he has to pitch. Before that, I was watching the Mets against 71, I think, 72. Who did the Mets beat? They didn't beat Oakland. It was the year before, I think. So Tug McGraw, it's a 15-inning game. It might have been against the A's. They did play him. He pitches 7 innings of bullpen of relief. And then, no problem, he pitched the next day. I mean, these managers today are such incredibly stupid people. So Tug McGraw pitches 7 innings of relief. Yeah, I'll be ready to go tomorrow. And Catfish Hunter's coming out of the bullpen. Oh, God, I loved it. And I'm just laughing, going, yeah, 100. You can only pitch 100. Could you imagine these pitchers would go out of their minds? Catfish Hunter, he wouldn't be able to play. What do you mean 100 pitches? Fuck you, Louis Dion. Wait, it's only the 6th inning. I ain't going anywhere. And anyway, and you can see Sparky doesn't know what he's doing. He keeps changing pitchers with Cincinnati. Oh, yeah, this is the 7th reliever in the game. Sparky, you don't get it. You're winning despite of you. You got Johnny Bench and Perez and Pete Rose and Joe Morgan, and anybody can win with that. All right, I had my fun. But they're really interesting. If you want to see these old World Series, it's about a half hour on ESPN. You can go right down the list. I was doing the 60s and Mantle, and then Koufax, and then Bob Gibson. And then you get into the 70s and the Miracle Mets and the Orioles. And then here come Oakland. And what a team they had. Jesus Christ. They had Vital Blues. I didn't know he was that good of a pitcher. But it always gets down to, like, you need 3 pitchers. You need Koufax, Drysdale, and somebody, and you needed Catfish Hunter and Vital Blue and Blue Moon Odom. That's all you need. You just need, and your ace goes 3 games on 2 days rest, and your other guy goes the other 3 games. Tigers did it with McLean and Lolich, and one guy, Earl Wilson, pitched 1 game. And that's what tend to happen. You'd go right to your ace. It'd be game 6, game 7. And that was baseball. Now I don't know what the shit this is. See, it's hard to watch when you've watched all the really good sports in the 60s and 70s, and even the 80s. It's so hard to watch this crap on right now. Oh my God. No wonder nobody wants to watch it. Let's hurry it up. Let's put a man on second. Can you imagine? In the 60s and 70s, yeah, Sandy, they're going to put a guy on second to start the 10th inning. What? What are you talking about, guy on second? It's embarrassing what the product is now. Okay, so let's look at yesterday. What a beautiful day I had. I go 5-1. Philly under 9.5, 3 units, winner. Baltimore under 8.5, 5 units, winner. The Yanks I don't even play, but I pick them over 8, winner. Boston, 3 units, winner. Houston over 8.5, 5 units, winner. In Atlanta, Max Fried, it's a 1-0 game with the guy in Arizona, and I lose it 3 units. I have Atlanta because I don't think the Arizona pitcher's that good. If I'd have known he was that good, I would have played the under. So that's my only loser. So I go +8 and 8, +16, +13 units, 4-1. I think I'm actually figuring out how to bet baseball. It is amazing. I mean, I'm hot all week. All right, the Dodgers in Detroit. Detroit -150 against the Dodgers. James Paxton 7-2 with the 4.24 against Tarek Skubal, 10-3 with the 2.37. Skubal, I don't know how good he is. I mean, the problem it's like the Lions. They go and beat Carolina, and you think they're good. and they beat Atlanta, and you think they're good. And then they go and they get Baltimore, and they lose 34-0, and they go, well, that was a one-off. Yeah, that was the first good team you played, and you got killed. Are you that good? See, but oh yeah, we can beat the weak teams. Well, that's what Scoble did last time. You beat a real weak team, and now here he comes, 10-3 to 237. Now, not taking anything away, he's a good pitcher. He ain't good enough to be a 150 favorite over the Dodgers. James Paxton. I'm gonna go under here. Detroit under 8. I'll go 2 units, about as much as I trust them. I have a feeling the Dodgers. This is a feel. I have a feel the Dodgers are a big plus 150 is a joke. I mean, Paxton's 7-2. He's got a high ERA. Let's look at his high ERA. Let's look at his last 5. See if he's really a 4.24 hitter. Oh, the guy's from born in Canada and played college ball at Kentucky. Well, don't they have baseball in Canada? Maybe that's the problem with their housing crisis. So if we look at runs, he had a bad game at Cincinnati, 5, at Pitt, 7, and at San Francisco gave up 9. But otherwise, Milwaukee, 2, White Sox, 0, Colorado. At Colorado, he only gave up 2 hits on 1 run in 7 innings. At Texas, 2 hits and 1 run. At the Mets, 2 hits and nothing. So, yeah, he can. This is absolutely winnable. Again, he has a few bad outings, but Detroit can't hit. So we remember that. So here's where their hitting is going to let them down. You cannot make the Dodgers a big underdog. I mean, this is like making Kansas City, the Chiefs, or Georgia an underdog. You're like, thank you, God. So superficially, I like the Dodgers as the dog here, but I'll stay under 2 units. Scooble's going to have trouble. I mean, just give me a break. This is a game that Scooble needs to throw a shutout, and then I'll say he's good. Right now, when you beat bad teams, I'm sorry, I'm not. You got to look at it. The Tigers scored all those runs, against the pitcher with a 12 ERA. Me and Bobby could have got out there and went 4 for 4. Where is Bobby? Where are you, Bobby Bo? All right, Oakland at Philadelphia. The A's against the old A's. Used to be the Philadelphia Athletics, and they moved to Oakland. It's funny how all the New York teams and Philadelphia teams moved out to California. The Giants, San Francisco, the A's from Philadelphia, the Dodgers from New York, and San Diego moved. They didn't move from anywhere, and the California Angels didn't come from anywhere. All right. Hollywood Hogan, 1-3 with a 3.22 against Ranger Suarez, 10-3 with a 2.58. And I'm looking at Ranger, and he's had 2 or 3 bad games in a row. I think 3 bad games in a row. And, the 2.58 is his ERA the last 3 games is 6. It's more than 6. He's given up 6 runs, but he doesn't pitch 9 innings. So he's in big trouble for some reason. Oakland, 3.22. Philly's a huge favorite. I'm going to bet this game under, but I don't really like the way Rangers pitching, but it's 9. So we're going to go under 9. We'll go 2 units here. Only because Oakland stinks as far as they can't hit. Well, Suarez throw a shutout here, but I don't like the way he's pitching. See, you've got to look at the game within the game. So if you just superficially look at 10-3 with the 2.58, you go, oh. But if you realize he had a 1.77 ERA not too long ago, he's gone up 0.8, which is a lot. He's already pitched in 11, 12, 13 games, and I think he's getting tired. So we'll look for him after the All-Star game to hopefully be good. Well, he's probably in the All-Star game. But he's obviously tired, or something is not right, because he is not pitching like a 10-3 with a 2.58. He's more like a 10-3 with a 5.58. But I can't take Oakland here. Sorry, Hollywood Hogan. All right, Cleveland, Tampa 137.5. Carlos Carrasco 3-6 with the 5.22. Used to be a really good pitcher. I don't know what the hell happened to him. Ty Bradley 3-4 with the 3.23. Can Tampa hit? Can we go over on the? Well, no. You see, Cleveland really fucks you. They're the eight. You either bet on them or you just leave the game alone because with this bullpen, and they can hit. So they can hit with the bullpen. So it's either take Cleveland as the A team or don't. They're 57-35, and Tampa's 46-47. Ty Bradley 3-4 with a 3.23. Yeah, I mean, because with the bullpen, it's hard to go over. With the hitting, it's hard to go under. What do you do? So it's either take Carlos Carrasco, who sucks, or just wait. So we'll wait for the aces to come out. The Yanks at Baltimore. We got Yankees 125-9. We got Garrett Cole, who looked terrible. I was actually watching a game on TV. 1-1 with the 6.75 against Cade Povich. 1-3 with the 6.51. I got to go over here. And hopefully Reggie Jackson plays tonight. Over 9. I'll go 3 units. The Yankees have not been hitting. Baltimore hits. Cole is not pitching, but Cade Povich with the 6.51. This should go way over 9. And Baltimore could do it by themselves. So I like this game over. I think this is the problem with baseball. They don't have any of their games on TV. This is a wicked problem when you go all pay-per-view, right? So now we're just gonna, you're gonna pay for Apple or whatever. Nobody watches it, because you're not really, it's 9:00 at night or it's Sunday, and you're like, oh, I want to watch a game. I don't even know what channel the Tigers are on. It's some pay-per-view. I wouldn't pay 5 cents for. And so you never see a game. So you don't know any of the players. I don't know half the players even look like. So what's my interest in them? Nothing. It's interesting when I was a kid and they're on TV. It's almost like in the 60s when you'd have the game of the week and it would be Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, and you can see Pete Rose and Johnny Bench, and you could see Roberto Clemente. That's the only time you'd see him because there was no ESPN. It was exciting. And now, you'd see him in the All-Star game or you'd see him in the World Series. Now, when are they on? You have no idea. I think there's a Saturday game of the week or something on Fox. And you wonder why attendance is down and nobody knows any of the players and nobody gives a fuck. I could care less about baseball. Football is different because it's on every Sunday and I can watch it. But I can't watch baseball. You don't have it on. You're trying to make money on Apple and YouTube and all these bullshit channels. You've lost all your audience because nobody's going to pay. And it's like soccer. Like soccer's so stupid. I don't know any of the players. I don't care. You're trying to force me to buy an electric car with soccer. I don't care. I don't know anybody. I couldn't name one player, nor could I give a shit. That's soccer, and that's how baseball is becoming. I don't know. It's not on. Most of these sports, they're not on regular TV anymore, and or it's on ESPN. Well, I don't watch ESPN. I can't get it. It's not on my cable or my Roku or whatever. Or no, my cable, my Spectrum doesn't carry ESPN. So even though it's one of the things, I can't get it. So I can't watch anything. This is the danger when you take it off of like free TV that everybody can watch, then nobody cares, nobody knows. And if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and then you have nothing. And that's, I think, what's happening with baseball now. And then all these afternoon games. At least these games are all at night. But what's with this? Oh, Thursday, let's play at 1. Everybody's working, aren't they? Or am I missing something? Maybe the population's getting older, so they The population's getting older, so maybe they figure, well, they can take the grandson to the game. Okay, I guess, but it makes no sense. Where before most people were working. I guess you work remote, but you can't. You're not running to the game. You got to work, even though you're at home. So not sure what's going on, but it's a big problem to not have the games on TV. A regular 2-4, yeah, ABC, NBC, Fox, something needs to have the games on it on a nightly, and and now I'm never on. I'm the only time I'm on Fox and CBS is football. Otherwise, I couldn't name one program that's on. I don't care. With Tubi and Pluto, and you're watching movies on there, or I can watch YouTube and watch the 1965 World Series. What am I going to watch Fox for during the day? So it's really stupid. But that'll be the problem. Of course, we won't have to worry soon because nobody will be able to go because there's no money. You take money out of the economy, there is no economy, there is no government. The players who just signed all these big contracts are fucked because they're getting paid in inflated dollars and they won't ever get paid. So, what, Trevor Lawrence, 5-year, $250 million, it's toilet paper. That's how stupid they are, and the agents, instead of getting it in gold, taking it in dollars. Well, they know what they're doing. They're fucking them all over. All right. So we have Baltimore over, New York over. All right. KC, Boston. I can sneeze. KC, Boston. Excuse me. All right. So we've got Cole Reagans, 5-6 with the 3.28. Cooper Criswell, 3-3. Now I read the pictures every day, and these names are not familiar. They're probably bullpen guys. Cole Reagans. Where the hell did they get this guy? No, he's a regular pitcher. A lot of 6 innings. Never heard of him. How do I miss this guy? 5-6 with the 3.28. Boston, Cooper Criswell, 3-3 with the 4.15. In Boston, probably an over, but I'm not going to bet it because I don't know who the hell these pitchers are. Boston over 9. Miami against Cincinnati. Yoni Chirinos, 0-0 with the 4.19. Carson Spires, 2-2 with the 3.64. You can't go over with Miami. They can't hit. Cincinnati can't hit. The pitching sucks. It's a pass. Colorado at the JETS, Jets. We the Jets are 275. Over under 8.5. Tanner Gordon, 0-1 with the 7.11 against Sean Manaea, 5-3 with the 3.43. Tanner Gordon sounds like he sucks. So we got to go with the Jets. The NYMs will go 3 units with the JETSs. All right. Pitt in Chicago, I have no idea. They got the White Sox as a big favorite, so I don't know. Maybe it's bullpen day for the Pirates. Washington, Milwaukee, we got Jackson Rutledge. Sounds like Todd Rutledge was a quarterback at Alabama. 0-0 with a 9 ERA. What's he doing in the league against Freddie Peralta? So we got to go Milwaukee here, 3 units. Peralta I've heard of, and 6-4 with a 3.95 against Jackson Rutledge. Texas and Houston. The old Cowboys and the Oilers. The Oilers are 145-8. We got Andrew Henne, 3-9 with the 3.80 for Texas. Hunter Brown, 6-6 with the 4.48. This is a 5 unit. We're going over Houston, over 8, 5 units. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll get Scherzer against Verlander because I haven't seen Verlander in a while. Scherzer is pitching. We will wait for Scherzer to pitch and load up, and then we got the no hitter guy for Houston. We will wait for him. That's what you wait for. Like normally, we would have went with Ranger Suarez today with Philly, a big bet, but now because he's pitching lousy until he gets back, we played it under instead of taking the Ranger. So you got to keep in mind the streak in the middle. So you can't just blindly say, "Oh, he's 10-3 with a 2.48." Not when he was 1.77. He's not a 2.48. He's pitching like a 6. So you got to be careful there. The Cubbies in St. Louis. St. Louis minus 210 and 8. Kyle Hendricks, the worst pitcher, 1-7 with the 7.53. Why do you keep pitching this guy against Sonny Gray, 9-5? So we're going Sonny Gray, St. Louis, and we're going to go 5 units. Sonny Gray's 9-5 with a 3.30. St. Louis is a 210 favorite and 8. Both teams are, competitive there. Seattle and California. Seattle beat them pretty bad last night. We got Ric Flair, Brian Wu, 3-1 with the 1.77 against Tyler Anderson, 8-8 with the 2.81. We're going under. We're going to take the Wu, Seattle. We're going under 8.5, and we'll make this 5 units. And look at that. Ric Flair is pitching for Seattle. I wonder if the guy walks around the mound going, woo, and everybody goes woo, and then he puts the guys in a figure 4 at the end. All right, Atlanta. No, when a guy gets a hit, he does one of those face first falls on the mound. That's hilarious. All right, Atlanta, San Diego. Spencer Schwellenbach for Atlanta, 2-4 at the 5.02. Pitched pretty good last week, beat Ranger Suarez. Randy Vasquez, 2-4 at the 4.66, which should be an over with these shitty pitchers. Atlanta. Now they lost 1-0 yesterday to Arizona. So Atlanta with a 2.97 ERA. I'm not fucking with them over. And San Diego's got a 4.14. This should be an Atlanta game. Atlanta's hitting 243. San Diego's hitting 260. Wow. So you'd think San Diego would score your runs. But high batting average doesn't equal runs. It's RBIs. That's why I look at it. I don't care about OPS. It's a meaningless stat, or WAR. Nobody even knows what the fuck it is. Batting average, home runs average, and RBIs. That's what you always look at, and there's no reason not to look at. If a guy's hitting 241, you don't sell him on, well, yeah, he's hitting 241, but his OPS is high. Oh, so when he does get a hit, it's extra bases. But he's only hitting 241. Hello? Oh, my God. Toronto at Arizona. They were on the West Coast. So they're still on the West Coast. Arizona minus 130 and 9. Yariel Rodriguez, 1-3 with the 36.8 for Toronto. Ryan Nelson, 6-6 with the 5.08. Can either team hit? Arizona can hit. Well, they played a 1-0 game yesterday. They're 4.44 bullpen, and they hit 255. They're good hitting. Toronto with a 4.77 bullpen, and they hit 235. So by that, we should bet Arizona. But their pitcher sucks. But so does the Toronto pitcher. I'm going to let this go. And then the last game, the Vikings at the 49ers. Good playoff game several years ago. We had Joe Ryan, 6-5 with the 3.29 against Kyle Harrison, 4-4, the 4.24. Over under 7.5. We got to go over here. So we're going SF over 7.5. And we're just going to do 3 units. So that's baseball. Nothing starts before 6:40. The Dodgers in Detroit. If you're looking for a live dog, it's got to be the Dodgers tonight. How can they be 150 dogs Tarek Scooble's okay. He ain't Sandy Koufax, okay. So we have Detroit under 8, 2 units. Philly under 9, 2 units. The Yankees over 9, 3 units. Boston over 9, no bet, but that's the play. The Mets, 3 units. Milwaukee, 3 units. Houston over 8, 5 units. St. Louis, 5 units. Seattle under 8.5, 5 units. And the 49ers over 7.5, 3 units. Those are your plays. And I am red hot the whole week. I've been really strong. I'm getting scared that I can actually pick baseball. Such a hard feat to do. All right. Week 1 of college football. We've talked about, maybe that's a good weekend title. Because we got Mark McGwire today. Week 1 of the NFL, we talked about the other day. We're looking for the quarterback for Minnesota. We're looking for, the Bears apparently are giving the job to Caleb, a huge mistake. Caleb, we wear black. We're the Bears. Dallas Prescott's got a boot on, so he's now. Granted, it's a little more than a month away, but if he broke his ankle, he's probably not going to play. Washington, probably Daniels. We're not sure. Tampa Bay, the Baker. The Jets, we're hoping for Aaron Rodgers. Now, the key is going to be keep your eye on injuries. So training camp starts in 2 weeks, 27th, I think. Keep your eye on the injuries. There'll be a lot of hamstring and running injuries because these guys are so out of shape. And then week 1, there's going to be a lot of injuries because they don't play preseason anymore. I don't know what these guys are thinking. Well, we won't play our guys. And then week 1, we're going to play them the whole game, and they won't be in shape. They won't be in football shape. Yeah, they'll be, running, but there's a difference of running a play, stopping, running the play, stopping, running the play, stopping, getting tackled, getting hit. It's a whole different animal than just playing touch in a practice against another team, thinking you're ready. These coaches are idiots. The only guy, Andy Reid, does play Mahomes. Oh, yeah, and they won the Super Bowl twice in a row now. He gets it, right? Anyway, so real briefly, went to the chiropractor today. So he checked my back out. It's been a little tingly, but okay. I told him about the I keep having a mental block on what I have, the dizziness. God, why is it such a thing? Why do you get like blocks, right? I know vertigo. Why do I keep blocking vertigo? It's amazing. So he, just I caught a few people on YouTube. He said, just keep doing that. And I think he found a little thing on my neck, like right here, that was causing it. So he kind of tweaked that. And then I told him about the food, and we both agreed that the roast I made, I didn't cut the fat. I missed some fat that I ate. I thought it was just part of the skin. On around there's the skin and then the meat. And I should have cut all that out. I didn't. Anyway, that's what got lodged here, but now it's fine. I felt pretty good yesterday. Today I feel fine. No ill effects. I did a full swim, workout and run, and there was no problem. So the vertigo, the couple of exercises on YouTube were good. If you need it, let me know. And then and my back's been okay. So, so everything was good. Really, I went to him because of my side just to see what the hell's going on. It was like I couldn't sneeze or yawn. It would hurt because this was so puffed up. But I guess the food went through and came out, and that's it. So I was tender yesterday, and everything's fine. And then today, we did talk about my gout. says, why am I getting more and more of it? Now, apparently you got to realize this. As you get older, the icicles in your body, um, they like, it's almost like that Superman villain who keeps growing bone out, right? That's what I think of. So your ice whatever they're called, the little ice chips that cause the pain because of the nerves, um, get more and more in you, which you don't realize, right? You don't know what's going on. And I says, well, how come I can have a steak and I can have ice cream and everything's fine? And then I had an ice cream the other day and all of a sudden it hurts me. And he says, you got to be careful. It doesn't always show. But the problem is, excuse me, it's hard it won't go away. So if you have like 5 and then it wants to 10 and then 50, you can't reduce them back to 5. Now there's 50, and it's at certain points you trigger it, and then that's why they come more and more, because there's so many of them. And I'm like, well, how can I get rid of it? Like your diabetes, if you do the fasting and stay away from high fructose corn syrup, your blood sugar goes down. Well, how come I can't get these crystals down? And that's what I don't know. And then so we both agreed I should not have the dark chocolates, even though they're very healthy for the cocoa. I'm eating too many of them, and when I run out, and go get an ice cream or a donut or something, because I got a sweet tooth. So I just am off of that, and we'll see what happens with that. And otherwise, most of the other high fructose corn syrup I'm off, and that's why I fast. But it apparently won't reduce the icicles in your body, and therefore you're getting gout more often than you should. So I could fast for a month, and I don't think I can reduce it, but I'm not sure. That's the question. So anyway, that was my morning. The pool was good. My foot's a little tender with a little bit of gout because I had an ice cream. No, probably from the roast. We agreed too much meat's no good, so cut that down. So it's a lot of chicken. He wants a lot of fish. I said, it's too expensive. I'm paying $20 for a salmon. And, so I don't buy that. I buy the chicken's just as good, and a little bit of hamburger probably won't do it. I had a big roast. So that was the problem. That was 4th of July. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Now let's get to Mark McGwire and our Comex Brick Sky about gold and silver, and you will be very happy. All right.
Since our last market update episode, where you predicted that the official efforts, to gaslight gold lower through their proxy banks would fail, and that these ongoing synthetic efforts to cap gold would continue to be jumped on by the global South physical buyers. You had assessed back then that the paper to physical disconnect was really coiling gold and silver for the next very large rally into the third quarter. Can you bring us up to date? Let's start off by this. Bring us up to date on what you're seeing right now in the market.
Yes, Shane. Now, what is clear is that China's physical markets are increasingly benchmarking a real deliverable, physically settled gold price. What it's doing is it's forcing the inward-facing Western banks to actually become price takers. We talked about this a few times now. Now, we're still in the very early stages of this process. And given we've evidenced Western-facing gold traders questioning the sustainability of the recent rise of gold priced in all fiat currencies, that is, not just the dollar. And these questions have arisen based upon official reports that the PBOC has stood aside from adding gold to reserves over the last 2 months. Now, there's little doubt that this is a strategic play by Beijing, but we will report something else is actually in play, and it's largely going unnoticed. So let's look at the various inputs and what to expect going forward.
Okay, so before he gets on his tangent, so as we've heard, what did he say? Physical market. That's what I've been trying to get to, is the physical market, that there's only 50 Mahomes cards, not 5,000, even though I only have 50, but I'm doing derivatives to say there's 5,000, and that lowers the price. So a physical market means there's much less gold than is being bidded on, and there goes the price. And so if you want your gold and silver, you better buy it now, because it's not going to be there at this price. Are you going to be able to pay $7,000 for your ounce of gold? Or if you buy all your gold now and it goes to 7,000, you'll be pretty fucking happy, won't you? I know I will be. I hate when people say, well, you don't want gold to go up. You know, you're like, something like, well, gold will go up, but you really don't want it to. Yeah, we do want it to. The dollar's worthless. So why do we want the dollar? Why do we want gold to stay low? It'll wipe out the dollar. Well, they come out with a new dollar like everybody else does. And if they can't handle a dollar backed by gold, we don't want them running it anyway. Or we'll go look for a country that has gold backed currency, like a Russia, and go from there. So I don't really see the problem. So I'm just moving my ice pack, my ice block. See, I don't see the problem. If you just had gold backed currency, it's fine. That's what we want to get to, is a system that's stable, that is not corrupt. Right now, you have the most corrupt Madoff system in the world. Well, I'll just keep printing money, and I'll print money. We have this big debt, and I'll keep printing money, and we'll manipulate the stocks, and we'll manipulate all the money and the real estate, and everything's manipulated. Well, who the fuck wants it? I'd rather have a clean market than a manipulated one. And they're cheating everybody and stealing from everybody. Who wants it? And they're too stupid to even have gold. No, not only are they too stupid to have gold, they're short gold. They go, well, we want gold to go down. But everybody in the whole world's buying gold. It's going up. Yeah, but we're gonna short the derivatives. Okay. Unbelievable, these Keynesians. That's why I always ask, are they Keynesians or Austrians? And you find out in about 5 seconds who they are. If it's, you just ask gold. If they like gold, they're Austrians. If they don't like gold, they're Keynesians. All right. So it's very good that we're getting to a physical market. That's the whole point. That's what we want. And we will see the price go to the moon. So why not get on and enjoy the ride? Why go, well, we don't want it to happen? Oh, bullshit, you don't want it to happen. All right.
So looking beyond the increasingly ineffective fiat gold and silver pricing inputs, from a wholesale market perspective, I can see we're witnessing the very early stages of a globally discovered physical gold price revaluation process.
Thank God.
Based, amazingly, on real supply-demand fundamentals. And while unraveling over 50 years of blinkered Western valuation metrics, and while that unfolds, it's largely kept Western retail buyers on the sidelines. And what they're doing is waiting for these historically mispriced fiat gold retracement patterns to play out. And we talked about it last time. There's a lot of gaslighting going on about gold needs to retrace. Yet, what retail buyers are missing is that unreported monetary gold demand has stepped up over the last 6 weeks. And with many on the sidelines, this is precisely the required setup, telegraphing that gold and silver are on the cusp of the next leg of an institutional, sovereign, and central bank physically driven rally, the next leg of it, that is, and very close to breaking up through the next layers of really synthetically chart painted resistances. Now, following the 5-month, $400-odd rally from the low 2000s in February, we see that Western facing retail gold and silver bar and coin demand is actually meeting some buyer's resistance at current levels. Yet, from a wholesale real supply demand physical market perspective, we currently evidence institutional and central bank monetary gold demand is actually very strong. Now, given this disparity and that deliverable gold prices are increasingly being discovered outside of the Western-facing exchanges, outside the view of retail investors, it's really a good idea to look at the price of gold and its strong relationship to overall Chinese physical demand, especially as there's been a speculation that Chinese derivative demand is actually largely responsible for driving the gold price higher. So let's drill down to really look at the price of gold and its relationship to Chinese speculative options traders. Now, following the PBOC opening up the Shanghai Futures Exchange, which is the SA.
PBOC is the People's Bank of China. Whenever he says that, instead of just calling it China, I don't know why he wants to make it more difficult. That's the way Mark McGuire is. So now we have a physical supply demand like eBay, which is what we've been waiting for. Price will go to the moon. That's why you better get in now. You're not going to be able to wait. When that thing hits 6,000-7,000 an ounce, what are you going to do? Buy an ounce? You can buy 3 for that now. And believe me, you can triple your money. What are you waiting for? Fuck the stock market. That's going to bust. People will get out of dollars because of the gold, and that's all going to bust. And you're going to be holding your Amazon stock going, oh, what happened? Why is it down? Even if you hold it, it's in dollars, and the dollar is going, it's going goodbye. So gold and silver is your out, as we say. So keep an eye on that. Keep that in mind. A physical eBay is going to give you a $100,000 Montana card, right? You couldn't get that if you didn't have eBay. If you didn't have supply and demand, Montana 10 rookie card would not be $100 250. And if you're going to get that in gold, what do you think you're going to get? All right.
FE, gold and silver derivatives trading, when they opened this up to speculators 4.5 months ago on the 1st of March.
This is China's.
The steeply rising gold price is in part being driven by fresh speculative Chinese options traders. But importantly, there is a difference in how the Chinese derivative markets operate. And as we also evidence, the underlying SGE physical gold market exchange is currently very strong.
That Shanghai Gold
Exchange. 4 odd months of SHFE options driven demand, as well as some very small kind of crossover arbitrage flows into the CME and the over-the-counter options markets, we note that there is a distinct difference between the structure of the ring-fenced, bearishly skewed LBMA CME options markets versus the bullishly skewed SHFE derivative exchange.
SHFE is Shanghai Fixed Financial Exchange. There's the Shanghai Gold Exchange, LBMA's London, and then CME's COMEX. It's like I got to put subtitles because this guy talks and he's like the Riddler. Like, what we got to figure out what you're saying, which then is why you got to listen to him 5 times, because as he's saying that, you've got to go, what did he talk? What does he say? Just fucking say China or Shanghai or whatever. So we're not like, what did you say? That's what a bad teacher. He's a bad teacher.
Now, on one hand, the CME LBMA run casino, which was specifically created after Nixon removed the dollar gold peg so as to synthetically contain the gold price versus the dollar, still to this day evidences the Fed operating through their agent banks, running a 5-decade-old, self-serving, directionally bearish gold and silver book. Now, while in complete contrast, on the other hand, the PBOC has for the last 14 years been openly encouraging citizens to invest in gold. Now, here's the important part, because the return on these officially incentivized retail gold investments are sold solely based on an appreciating gold price. Now, this has been evidenced by the PBOC ensuring that the SGE gold price in yuan has steadily risen. And at times we've seen.
Okay, so what he's saying is the way China's doing the derivatives is they want the price to go up because they want their citizens to buy it. So they want to get the price to go up so the citizens make a lot of money on gold and they make a lot of money on gold. COMEX wants the price to go down because they're price fixing it because they want to keep the dollar strong. So see the difference. So we want the Shanghai because they're all going, we want the price up, up, up. There's not going to be these downwards. We still want the real price of gold. We want the supply demand price, the free market price. We want whatever people are willing to buy and sell this for is how we want the gold price to be. All right, Mark.
It commanding up to $150 per ounce premiums over Western-derived synthetic prices. That's usually happened when we've seen a Western price takedown. Now, harmonized with that same undertaking, the PBOC's next step was to open up the bullishly biased, self-serving SHFE de-dollarizing mechanism to its citizens. And that's really what that is.
Now, Andrew, this is perfect timing with the official PBOC buying seemingly on hold for 2 months. We've had a lot of questions from our community about the possible gold market risks that the Chinese present. Can you elaborate on this?
Yes, Shane, these are really important questions as they actually point to what's going on in the derivative market. In direct contrast to how the Chinese derivative markets work, what we need to do is first look at the bearishly skewed Western markets and its vulnerabilities. Now, for the last 5 decades, the rigged COMEX exchange has been geared to operate a standard 5% win, 95% loss casino environment. When I talk about 5% win, 95% loss, I'm talking about the house to the house's benefit, as is any casino. So, and these wash and rinse protocols over this 50-year period, and no one's going to disagree with me about this, there is rarely a single month month end that has gone by where Western-facing futures and options speculators have not been rinsed of their 96% unbacked bullish gold and silver bets at each rigged month-end options expiry. However, the vulnerabilities generated by these regular synthetically driven wash and rinse cycles are populated in the resulting grossly imbalanced COMEX exchange for physical mechanism. That is the EFPs. We talked about the backdoor mechanism from the COMEX, which is siloed to just purely trade, can be cash settled, the ability to actually transit them into the local London markets for delivery. And these structural EFB imbalances were actually exposed in March 2020 when sudden COVID refiner lockdowns, we're talking about here a sudden halting or shortage of physical. These lockdowns completely halted physical supply overnight, and it blew apart the mispriced EFPs, forcing the LBMA gold market makers to pay up to $100 premium per ounce to exit these 4% backed short COMEX legs that were supposed to be hedging these same actors 10 times larger naked long over-the-counter legs face the deliverable global FX gold markets. Now, I'll explain. And if you remember, Shane, we looked at how this played out in granular detail in our March, April, and ongoing 2020 Live from the Vault episodes. And really, to get a more granular explanation, I honestly suggest looking at them again, because we went through it in absolute detail. But in summary, the market-making LBMA bullion banks who have a leg planted in both the unbacked COMEX futures and the deliverable FX gold markets were overnight exposed as insolvent. Now, what happened was that the bullion banks offering foreign exchange gold longs priced in dollars, don't forget the foreign exchange cross is you're long the gold, short the dollar, you're short dollar, long dollar, short gold. So it's as it would be in any other foreign exchange cross, euro against the dollar, etc. Except the gold is a physical product. It's not just a synthetic foreign exchange cross. It is actually a physical product. So in other words, what we're looking at is suddenly, these liquidity providers that were offering this unbacked gold were suddenly turned upon by a starved for supply physical buyers demanding immediate physical delivery of the unallocated gold that these banks simply didn't have to back these offers to sell gold. Now, the Black Swan event exposed these naked long market-making banks were holding 100-to-1 leveraged bearish gold bets. That is 100 ounces of gold sold naked short in the undeliverable futures market against each ounce these banks held in physical gold. It forced these imbalanced naked short COMEX hedges to be brought back into a bid-only futures market, as everyone wanted to race. They couldn't make a delivery. You had to buy back the short hedge.
So we're talking about Madoff here. So people are trying to take delivery, and they don't have any inventory to take the delivery on. So that's what exposed it, and it blows up the whole thing. And then China enters, and now we're looking for a physical gold, real physical gold market. All right. So there's no worry about any of this. Is China buying gold? They're fine. Let's see. Let's go to 28. Okay.
Higher gold price. This means that Xi Jinping has to sanction-proof his regime from an increasingly weaponized dollar. Now, the Shanghai Futures Exchange-driven derivative trade has most definitely assisted in the veracity of the current price rally and significantly accelerates the process, but also serving to hide stealthy monetary gold conversions from the absolute revelation that China has 3 trillion of PBOC shadow banking reserves, which was revealed by Setzer in 2022. Why wouldn't they? And driven by the Sino-Russian alliance, the entire BRICS de-dollarization process is ramping up, and it will continue to place a strong bid under physical gold. Now, if the COMEX-centric paper market does not follow, they continue to sell undeliverable futures contracts to try and cap gold into this unfactored swap of dollars for gold. The COMEX will be drained of all of its leveraged NSFR compliant bullion through the EFP conduit. And we know what happened in the COVID situation. This time, it could be overnight a bid on gold that is so strong, and this could be the nuclear option, financial nuclear option, a bid on gold that is so strong that it will actually break the EFP conduit. There is no way that all of the open interest that is read, or the chips flying around the COMEX, leveraged 96%, could suddenly be and they could be demanded for EFP by each individual player to the maximum limit they're allowed. That would completely, again, we would see another EFP fracture, breakup. Now, as we've drawn frequent attention to following Russia's military operation and the seizing of Russian assets in February 2022, it's no coincidence that the inverse correlation disconnect between the dollar and US interest rates and gold really became actionable around about the time that the BIS squared the very last of their 500 tons of historic bearish gold derivative bets in November 2022. That was just before Basel III regulations, their own Basel III and SFR regulations kicked in on the 1st of January 2023. So really what we're saying is, bottom line, this is a tale of two markets. One that sets the synthetic gold price, derived from the utilization of massive leverage, where traders can control billions of dollars of naked long or short unbacked gold bets with as little as 4% skin in the game. And the other, the unleveraged, physically settled Chinese gold exchange that cannibalize this 96% diluted US price, alchemizing Western paper gold into physical. This is conducted by way of extremely vulnerable backdoor EFP mechanism, forcing the full funding of these COMEX bets into a 10 times larger Basel III NSFR compliant deliverable FX exchange. Now, even if they're not the EFPs aren't tapped directly, the price sets the deliverable spot gold price in London, which is actually deliverable. So regardless of the EFP mechanism, it is also setting that price. This is a huge problem for the COMEX, not for the banks who are all long physical for their own book, but for the Fed trying to control, still doubling down, trying to control. And we've seen this capping going on in the last few days.
And Andrew, what are you seeing in the short term?
Well, short term, Shane, as is evidenced by the US-centric CTA gold and silver futures market wash and rinse cycles, where the CTAs are en masse they dutifully react to Fed speak, as we saw with Powell, news events, but more usually the very thin illiquid times a day, such as we've seen over the last 2 days, and we're recording this on Wednesday. So in the last 2 days in Asia, the minute London and Europe have exited for the day, these liquid windows are being clearly exploited on an intraday basis, evidencing really a short-term dollar index and real nominal yield correlations. It evidences they still exist on a short-term basis. But these really amount to little more than intraday chart chatter masking a...
So what he's trying to say is that China's blowing up the COMEX. And they have physical, and COMEX is all leveraged. And as you ask for the deliverable, COMEX doesn't have it. Game's over. So as he says, a little bit later on, which I'll run to, by the end of the third quarter, Luke, COMEX is basically gone. We're in the middle of the second quarter. No, we're in the third quarter now. Jan, Feb, March, first quarter, April, May, June, second, July, August, September. So by October, your gold's going to be worth a whole lot more. Your silver will be getting there. Just FYI. So that's your win. We're starting to see it play out because China has the physical. Nobody wants this diluted 96% bullshit Madoff where, yeah, I have 4%, but I don't, there's really 50, but I'm saying there's 5,000. Nobody wants that. Get tired of that. I want the 50. I want one of the 50. So the ETFs will go away. Your IRAs, don't fuck with your IRAs in gold. Buy the physical gold. because that's really where the value's at, is the physical gold, not the paper, not the ETFs, not the stocks. The market will crash because the dollar will crash because the gold will go to the moon. Even though they're not really correlated, people will want to jump into gold like they would jump into a Rolex or, but see, not everybody's interested in Rolex. But really the key is, since the money's losing its value, we'll create the gold. You'll run into gold because it is money, as you can run into the mantle or the Rolex or anything else that's an asset. All right. A few more minutes of Mark.
Massive de-dollarizing gold and silver decoupling process. Now, actually, I saw a report by Max Layton of Citigroup. I thought that was interesting. And really, he says, and this is, again, First-Year Bank, gold's bellwether relationship with US real interest rates has broken down quite spectacularly over the past 2 years, with gold reaching all-time highs despite real rates. Oh, by the way, Citigroup has a price target of $3,000 per ounce and are buyers into dips. It is these paper-driven divergences from what we can see as plain as day in the physical markets that were being aggressively cannibalized under the direction of Beijing. And as we outlined in our last episode, despite employing every single tool in the Fed's price capping toolbox, as expected, the identified central bank big support at spot 2300 turned out to be unshakable. We talked about it. For the Fed to be aware of overshooting that level, and because the momentary CTA-driven overshoots and filling of the identified central bank sovereign bids there once again backfired on the manipulators. This was almost a replay of the misstep the Fed made when they tagged similarly identified central banks bids sitting at 2,000 in February. Now, the best way to illustrate this, I'm going to share a couple of stripped down live charts with you here to illustrate. Now, if you remember, back in February, we talked about there was sitting at sub $2,000 spot, there were very large central bank bids. And we said, be careful what you ask for, Fed and manipulators, because if you tag this, that you hit these bids, it's going to force very, very large buying. And so bear in mind that you can only take it as far as you can cover into the CTAs. So there's the commodity trading advisors who basically will pile in sub a moving average. And in this case, they piled in and went short. Now, there wasn't enough open interest for the Fed to cover into. So what happened was, this then turned what was really a non-deliverable EFP into a deliverable contract, FX contract. And after these got filled, we're talking about the unwinding of 96% leverage, that basically at this point here, we saw the T+2 orders hitting the marketplace, and up we went. Now, this happened in conjunction with the 1st of March coming in on where we saw the SHFE coming in also on the option side. Now, I don't think this is a coincidence, but this resulted in a $450 rally. So fast forward to now, and we see a similar setup where at sub 2300, there were, again, we identified very large. We did this in our last episode. We identified that there was large central bank bids had reaggregated under 2300 spot. And this is following the same central bank bids being bid at being hit sub 2300
on the 1st of May, or May the 3rd, sorry. And that brings us to what happened into the options expiry. If you remember, there was massive OCC bets. There was the need to suppress the The only people short are the Fed. We will share more charts in the future, but I hope this has been helpful.
And Shane, my friend, as far as silver's concerned, is about to significantly outperform gold. Structurally, silver looks just as well set up as it was when gold broke out from 2000 in February. Silver is coiling for a large catch-up rally, which will see the all-time $50 highs easily challenged. There are very, very large short stops identified above 35 bucks. And that looks absolutely magnetic for a rinse pretty soon. And this looks really ready to be achieved by the end of this third quarter. So really, I guess really what we're saying here is what the objects of these episodes to me is to shine a light beneath the constructed mainstream media narrative so we can make better wealth protection decisions. It's the only question remaining, and it's Robert Kiyosaki's question.
So a lot of that is like, what the hell? But in the video, he does say gold's going to at least 3,000 and silver once it gets past 50. Let me try to find that. I mean, he rumbles on too much. Just a second. I'm just. $600 rally coming. Just a second. Well, I know he says it. Says a lot of gibberish. It really doesn't mean anything to us. Just a second. Where the hell is it? Well, I'll watch it again and I'll make sure I write the time down. Oh, here it is. Okay, 32.56.
Index and real nominal yield correlations, it evidences they still exist on a short-term basis. But these really amount to little more than intraday chart chatter masking a massive de-dollarizing gold and silver decoupling process. Now, actually, I saw a report by Max Layton of Citigroup. I thought that was interesting. And really, he says, and this is, again, first year bank, gold's bellwether relationship with US real interest rates has broken down quite spectacularly over the past 2 years, with gold reaching all-time highs despite real rates. Oh, by the way, Citigroup has a price target of $3,000 per ounce and are buyers into dips. It is these paper-driven divergences from what we can see as plain as day in the physical markets that were being aggressively cannibalized under the direction of Beijing.
All right, so we know that. I'll try to find that other spot later. So what we know is what we talk about all the time: the paper market, the COMEX, and the physical market, the China, and they can't deliver anymore, and it's going to blow up, and it's going to blow up third quarter, is what he's saying. I'll again play that when I can find it. Let's try this, 37.
And as we outlined in our last episode, despite employing every single tool in the Fed's price capping toolbox, as expected, the identified central bank big support at spot 2300 turned out to be unshakable. We talked about it. For the Fed to be aware of overshooting that level, and because the momentary CTA-driven overshoots and filling of the identified central bank sovereign bids there once again backfired on the manipulators. This was almost a replay of the misstep the Fed made when they tagged similarly identified central banks bids sitting at 2,000 in February. Now, the best way to illustrate this, I'm going to share a couple of stripped down live charts with you here to illustrate.
We saw that. Okay. Anyway, I'll get to it. Anyways, good news. We're looking for gold to be 3,000. Silver, once it starts moving, we'll go to 50 very, very quickly. And that should be by the end of the third quarter, which we're in the third quarter. So it's happening now, Luke, real quickly. Anyway, so I don't know what the election's going to do. Is Biden running or not running? And they don't want him to run, but he's running. I love George Clooney. Who the fuck is he? Well, he thinks Biden should step down. Oh, well, George Clooney says it. I've come to the conclusion politicians and actors and actresses are all liars, right? Think about it. You're doing a role and you're somebody else. You're not yourself, so you're lying. This is the problem. You can't trust actors because you don't know who they are because they hide behind some other character. So it's all lies, right? Acting's all lies. Politics is all lies. They'll say one thing and do another. And that's why it's hard to trust either of them. That's why I like, if you were to meet George Clooney, you don't know what you would get because he's acting. So when you meet him, I met one guy from a soap opera. My ex-wife wanted to go, so we went to New York to meet a soap opera guy. And this other guy was there who was in the soap opera. And he was the weirdest guy I ever met. He was like a dual personality on the soap opera. So there was this really aggressive guy or this really stupid other guy. And he says, "Who do you want?" And I go, "I want whoever you are. I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to a fictional character. I want to talk to whoever the hell you really are," because I could recognize him. I don't know if he could go there. I mean, he's either, A or B, but he's not who he is. Like, I'm myself. I'm always myself, right? I'm being the Howard. I'm being the professor, but I'm always real and honest and truthful. But with these actors, you don't know what you got. You don't know. You have no idea what they really are like. That's why you just got to realize that it's all acting. Like wrestling, the Undertaker said, "Well, it's just telling a story. That's all it is. We're just telling a story." And that's kind of what you're getting. Let me see what else I got here that I was watching. So a lot of vertigo, which doesn't. What's happening to Canada? We went through yesterday. Nothing really new. So anyway, just keep that in mind. All these actors, like, "Oh, I really like this guy or this girl," and it's all bullshit. They're all just acting. If you meet them, you don't know. Well, you don't act like that. I mean, that's the problem. When I went to Romania years ago to meet Irina, and we met and went to lunch, and she dropped me at the airport, and I said, "Well, what do you think?" She says, "You're exactly what I thought you were," which is good because this is how I am. This is real life for me. And that's the problem when they're acting, you don't know what the hell you've got. But anyway, that's why I got to meet Daria, because I got to get the real Daria. But I think I have the real Daria, and I know the real Jenna, and that's the important part, because you don't know until you meet the person, are they what they really are. That's why I'm like very stoic at the club, because you need to buy gold is the truth. And they think they don't know, they don't believe it. And I'm like, well, I'm not acting. I'm not selling you anything. I'm telling you the truth. So I just shake my head going, why don't you believe that? Or what do you think I'm telling you? So I'm like, okay, fuck it. You want to get that? You can come here and I'll give you the real. And then these other guys try to give it to you, but they're salesmen. Andy Scheckman and Peter Schiff and all these guys are not, they're just pretend. They're just acting. They just want to sell you to sell their gold, because that's their business. My only business with you is football. That's the only business. This is not a business part, the class. I'm trying to get specific people who want to learn it and do a class on inflation or anything. But right now I don't know how to really market it well. But we'll do that with football. But that's my business, really. But even that's all real. don't sell you on something that I don't believe in or I don't do myself. Anyway, so good news. The gold and silver should be going. BRICS gold back by October. The election, November. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. And again, the U.S. is trying to keep the price of gold down, but it's a fantasy leverage price, which we know about. So we're trying to get the physical free market price, which is what he was talking about. Hopefully it will happen, and hopefully it happens soon. And then we'll see the gold price go up and the silver price go up. I don't know why I can't find this stuff. I'll find it tomorrow. But I mean, I watched it. I was in the car and I watched it, and I did point to time 28, which is what I showed you, 28 minutes. But I don't know where they, unless it's in the graph part where he's talking, maybe about the silver will go to 50, and then it'll easily get to 50, and gold's going to 3,000. But then once we get rid of COMEX and the price fixing, then the price will just go up. So it's in the Chinese want the price to go up for their citizens. They're not fucking around with it down. So if that's what we have, is the Chinese controlling it and wanting the price to go up, then we'll get a very large price. So the best advice I can give you is buy gold and silver while you can get it now, because you're not going to be able to either get it at these prices or get it at all. Because as everybody go to Costco, you can't get it. It's all sold out. That's Costco. They don't know about, SD Bullion or my guy at, 5 miles away from me, the coin store. They don't know about that. I do. He owns 3 stores. So, that's what's happening. So this is all coming out soon. So that's my advice, and that's what I'm doing. So I'll probably go buy another 10, 20 ounces of silver tomorrow, and then and just wait for it to happen. We know what's happening. All right, let's once more review the baseball picks. Detroit under 8. All these games are start at 6:40. It's 5:00. Detroit under 8, 2 units. Philly under 9, 2 units. New York Yankees over 9, 3 units. The Mets, 3 units. Milwaukee, 3 units. Houston over 8, 5 units. St. Louis, 5 units. Seattle under 8.5, 5 units. And the 49ers over 7.5, 3 units. So keep that in mind if you're betting baseball. Football, we'll talk about probably over the weekend. Because Mark McGuire's on today, I wanted to talk while it's fresh. And like I said, I'll find the section where he talks about gold 3,000. And although I can't figure out why it's not written. And then silver will be $50 going up. And it's already at 30. Let's check where we're at now at 5:00. It closes at 6. And let's go gold right now. I hate that you have to refresh the screen. Like, it's so frustrating because you call it up and you go, oh, that's where it's at. And then you refresh and then it's not there. 24.11. So we started the show at about 24.15. So it's gone down a little bit, not too much. And silver at 30.79. So, I would get some more silver. But gold's really what I do at 24.11. I'd focus on the gold right now. Silver's going to wait for you for a little bit before it moves. Gold, not going to wait. Gold's the man. So I would get that. And yes, I like the plan of I'll get 15 ounces of silver for an ounce of gold once silver runs and gold runs, and they're all very expensive. But just keep in mind, you might not be able to find it. You might have your 15 ounces of silver, and you're going to try to trade it for an ounce of gold, provided there's an ounce of gold you can trade for. It's not going to be as easy as it is now. You must take all the factors into account, which is what I'm so good at. So if we go into the future, everybody's going to be buying silver because they won't be able to afford gold. Is the guy going to have gold in his shelves like he does now? I don't know. If it is, it's going to be set. Let's say it's $7,000 an ounce. How much is he going to have? Is he going to have any? I mean, because everybody's getting suckered into selling their gold now at 2,400. And when it goes to 7,000 and 10,000, they're gonna, oops, I don't have any to sell. They're getting, it's like COMEX. They're selling it out now at these cheap prices, and then when it gets up, they won't have any left, which means he won't have inventory to trade for the silver. He won't have gold. He's not going to buy gold. The guy at the store is not going to buy the gold. It's too expensive. There's people like us who might sell it, but at 7,000 is too cheap. Unless we're forced to, we don't want to sell it at this low price. We want to sell it at, $20,000, $30,000, provided we have something to buy and provided there's money. So remember, the biggest thing is we don't want this back. We jumped off the boat to get into the lifeboat. So now we're in the gold lifeboat. Well, the last thing we want to do is sell the gold to get back on the Titanic before it sinks. So this is critical. You don't want to get back into this unless it's something that's critical that you're going to immediately, like a medical bill or a vacation or something where, well, I need $3,000. Oh, okay, I got gold. I'll sell it to pay a bill or go on a vacation or something like that. Okay, that makes sense. But really, you want to use up your dollars before you do that. That's the critical thing. Use up your dollars, then do that, and off you go. So please be careful with that. But be careful with that. I'll sell 15 ounces for an ounce, 15 ounces of silver for an ounce of gold. It sounds good, but it might not work because that means gold's way up there and the dealer might not have it. Now, how do you trade it? So good idea, but still silver. Even if you can't, so your silver is worth, so 15 ounces of silver is still worth $7,000. Right now it's $300, right? It's $450 for 15 ounces. You can get 7,000 even if you don't switch it for gold. That's the point. But that's why I'd rather buy gold now. The bird in the hand's worth two in the bush. So if I buy an ounce at 2,500, well, let's see what that's doing. 24.11. So 24.11.67, down $3, nothing. Let's go to our favorite menu, which is eBay. So it's eBay. All right, so let's look at the prices. Half ounce, $13.28, up nicely. The quarter ounce is still holding. It's $6.82. Should be over $700. The tenth of an ounce, $2.83. $2.73 for the maple leaf. Okay. Cougaran quarter ounce, $6.55. That's cheap. Quarter ounce Eagle, $6.77. I'm thinking this is $700. Mickey Mantle, $72,000, and that doesn't move. The Brady cards, $8 million still. How much ounces of gold is it going to take to buy that card? 5, 6? Half ounce, 13.14. So the half ounce is about 1,300. The quarter ounce is about 700. The ounce, let's get a better look at the ounce. Here we go. So your ounces, maple leaf, 2,500. Eagle, 25.35. So you can see they're in the 25s because they're about 100 over. And these aren't even like today's auctions. Let's go to let's go to 1 ounce gold as of now. All right, 25.39 Liberty coins. Why did the 1/10 of an ounce show up? I type in 1 ounce, I get 1/10 of an ounce. 25.35. 25.78. All right, here we go. 25.37, 25.16 for the Maple Leaf. So all of them are in the 2500s. Can you afford that? You cannot get 4 for 10 grand. You need a little bit more than 10 grand for 4. Where I got 8 for 10 grand a couple years ago. Again, thinking 5 steps ahead, as I do. So that's what we have. Let's see with my Cougaran. Jeez, where's the Cougaran? All right, here's the Cougaran, 2503. So they're all 2500. And half ounces are in the 1300s, quarter ounces are roughly 700, and the 1/10 of an ounces are still hanging at 270, 280. So they're not really going up based on where they were. I was buying them for 250 $100 ago, or maybe I bought them at this price before, and now they went down to 2300. Price went down a little, and now they're shooting back up. So, it almost makes sense. Well, so 700 for a quarter ounce is 2800. 1300 for the half ounce is 2600. 270 for a 1/10 of an ounce is 2700, or an ounce is 2500. So that's why they say the ounce is better. But how many can you afford the 2500s? Or do you need, like me, I'll probably go get a quarter ounce because it's only 680. That's really what you look at. So it's, people that don't think these are liquid, I mean, these are selling on eBay. So no reason you can't put it on eBay and get it. People will buy it. And and the price, but again, this is paper price for physical. All these are steals. Every one of them's a steal, because once it goes to a paper price, once it goes to a physical price, thanks to Shanghai, and the COMEX blows up, they're all 10 times more, because it's been pushed down through the years. So it keeps doing the down derivative. If you didn't have that, the price, that's why the Montana's 125 for his rookie card, because there is no down. It went up, somebody else bought it. It's a PSA 10, then somebody else, and then he put it out and somebody else bought it. And now somebody's trying to sell it for 125. So you don't have the down hits, only if it's price fixed, which you don't have here. So that's really the whole key to it. And that's what we're trying to do, is get a eBay value. We're trying to get we're trying to get to these. I mean, how is this 1968 PSA 9 mantle 72,000, and yet gold is 2,300? I mean, 2,400. This is probably where gold should be, is 72,000, right? I mean, there's no way. There's got to be a lot more demand for gold than the mantle card. Otherwise, there's a big problem if there's not enough demand for gold, which is what they keep saying. Well, there's not really a demand for gold, but all the central banks are buying it, so it skews it. But keep that in mind. So that's what we're trying to get to. This is where we want gold at the Mantle price, at the Tom Brady price. I mean, $8 million because there's only 10 Tom Brady's. That shows you, if it's limited, what the price really becomes versus when you print it. That's why this is worthless, because they're fucking printing this to death. There's no value in this if you print 21 trillion here and 130 trillion outside. Where's the value? Why would you want to hold that card? That's like holding a million count Mahomes card. It's going to be worth $2. Or you can have the 50 count. Gold is the 50 count. You can't print it. There's nothing there. It's very limited. And that's the whole point of gold. That's why gold survived. It's not because of anything else. It's the fact you can't print it. And that's why every currency has gone to zero, because if it's not backed by gold, it might start off being backed by gold, but then it always somehow ends up not being backed by gold. And the currency goes out. I don't know, some stupid game that they play or what. Or they think everybody's stupid and they're the smart guys. Oh, we'll just print another dollar out there and they'll take it. It's a medium. You're not supposed to fuck with the medium of exchange. That's your economy is go to work, you make money, and then you spend it. And then somebody else takes your money, and Target or Kroger's or Costco or whatever. That's the point of it. You can't fuck with the money. And why would you have the government have the monopoly on printing money? What is that? That's the problem with the government. The government's so corrupt. They say, we'll print it ourselves. No. That's why there's a constitution that says you can't have a central bank. You can't have regular money. It's got to be gold and silver. And yet whoever runs it says, we're not going to listen to that. But you solemnly swore to defend the Constitution, and yet you're not. I love watching 24, and they're all, well, I got to stand with the Constitution. And I'm looking at Biden. I'm like, he doesn't even know what the Constitution is. So it's just pretty funny. But Biden's like Charles Logan, season 5, just a bumbling idiot who's in charge and ruining the country. So soon it'll be over. I don't know what's going to happen in November. Don't ask me to bet it. I would say Trump will win because you're voting for the country. You're not voting for Trump. You're voting against Biden, but Trump's not going to get rid of anything anyway, because it won't matter. Trump, what can he do, right? It's the Congress, it's the Senate, it's all the corrupt people in the swamp. He's not going to do anything. You need to blow it up, basically, and come out with a real constitution and make nice with the Russians and Chinese, or we're fucked anyway. That's the real problem. So I don't know, this election. I don't even think about it. I don't care about it. Just buy more gold and silver, and you'll be your own country and your own government, because you'll have so much money that you'll be away from the people who are all crying about Madoff and crying about the government and all this stuff. Well, yeah, if you would have listened, you would have bought gold and silver. It wouldn't have affected you. Like I showed you that Canada one yesterday, right? And they're all crying about the government. And I was very clear that it's all corrupt, and you got to get free markets. You got to get the regulations down. You got to get the inflation down, so you can have normal free market prices on houses. That's your housing crisis. Again, the market's here and the cost is here, and nobody can buy it. But I don't know who's running this, that if they don't sell any or rent any, how they stay in business. Because you can't say, if you're trying to rent, if you're trying to sell Coca-Cola, you better have a market that buys it, or you're out of business too. So I don't know what's going on in Canada, but Anyway, big housing crisis. It's coming here. We've got a lot of people in tents, and look at San Francisco. What the hell is going on there? But we will see. It's all this immigration and crossing the border. They're not Americans. Who knows what they are? But that's the point. This should be Americans or Canadians or Germans or Italians or whatever. So there's a big storm coming. You'll probably have to move to a BRICS country because they'll have the gold back currency. You follow the gold, you follow the money. And that's all I can say is that's you don't want to get this. So you want to get a BRICS gold back currency dollar is what you want to do. And you're going to buy it with your gold and silver. That is the way out. That is the way you'll survive. You don't want to be here. There's riots in France today, yesterday. And that's the problem. So you're trying to avoid all that crap. And gold's the answer because it gives you freedom. Nobody can fuck with you because you have the gold, right? Look at, they're fucking with you. You have money and they're fucking with you. Well, I got 500 grand in the bank. Well, now it's really monopoly money. It's really not worth anything because we fucked you over. We printed all this money, and the more we print, the less it's worth. But if you're into gold, they can't fuck with you because they can't control the gold because it comes out of the ground. That's why we go to gold, and that's why we go to silver. And that's your out. That's your survival. And yeah, I love that. Well, you can't eat gold. Well, yeah, I can't eat dollars either. I'm not sitting there eating this. I take it to the store to buy the food. I'm going to take gold and silver to the store to buy the food, or change it into something I can buy the food with. And that's the key. That's the whole economics. There's got to be some medium of exchange that allows you to buy this. That's what this purpose is. This is money, which is purpose is to go buy the food and pay the bills and get paid to earn your income. Is this? That's what this job is. But if you fuck this over and print it, George Soros, print it to zero, then everybody's fucked because you've killed the economy. Nobody's there to. There's no point. You've killed the whole goose laying the golden egg, right? You need the medium of exchange. So then what do? And that's why people they're fucking with the farmers and the food and this whole war in Ukraine. I don't even know what the hell it is. It's like a joke. And anyway, this is the problem. So we know the solution. So just go buy and I don't want to hear I don't have the money. We'll go find the money. Take the money and you don't need much. You need $30 for silver. Come on, you don't have $30? Don't. That's ridiculous. So that's the point. What else? These wars, there won't be a nuclear war because nobody wins and everybody blows up. And what's the point? So China doesn't want it because they got they're producing, and Russia doesn't want it. Again, they got oil and they don't want to kill themselves off. So Putin talks a good game. He's a good politician, but he ain't nuking anybody and nobody's nuking him. So keep that. The U.S. is just run by George Soros and the Chinese. It's not run by us. That's why they're afraid of Trump, because Trump will try to run the country, but I don't know how good he is either. I don't know how anybody could really run the country. Where do you get the experience? Let me see your resume. Well, it doesn't say you've run the country. You've run a country before. I get that when I'm trying to find jobs. Well, it says you've not done SAP or you don't know Excel. Okay, let's see. You're trying to run the country. Well, you've never led a military before. It's the insanity of somebody running the country. And then when you watch 24, you basically look at and they're always making, well, yeah, we could kill these 5 people to save 1 million. So they always try to justify it but I can save more people, right? I can save $1 million. So if 100 have to die, but I save $1 million, and they try to justify it. Well, two wrongs don't make a right, no matter what you do. And, that's why and then the problem is the cabinet, DOD and the finance and all that, they're not competent either. So you're fucked. I'm the president. So I'm like the chairman of the board. I'm going to have an accountant and an IT guy and this and that. That's kind of the idea, but they got to be competent and not political, which is not what you got. So it's a big nightmare. The government, the whole system, I think should be shot. I don't think you need people really. I don't need anybody telling me what to do or leading me. I just need you to get out of my fucking way. Let me go figure it out for myself. And then the store, well, yeah, but not everybody's like you. They can't figure it out for themselves. Or Social Security, well, you wouldn't have saved it. Yeah, well, maybe if I had that extra 200 grand that you stole from me, I wouldn't need retirement because I'd have more, I'd have another 200 grand to spend. So it's it's all a Ponzi scheme. The whole government's a Ponzi scheme. That's what they're doing, printing the money. Yeah, let's let the government print the money. Oh, yeah, we could trust them. That's the biggest problem. So that's why it's all corrupt and it'll never work until you get that piece out of it. Until you go back to just gold and stick to the rule book. We're all fucked anyway, right? We just don't know we're fucked. Like our friend said yesterday, it's like the Matrix. Yeah, we're in the Matrix. We live in the Matrix from the standpoint they don't tell us what's going on. And so we don't know it's not we're asleep. We just don't know what's going on. So we just go into our own little worlds. And then I love they on 24. Well, yeah, the nuclear bombs about that. Should we tell the people, oh, we don't want to cause a frenzy. We don't want to cause hysteria. Let's not tell them. Well, what is that? Of course you tell us. Yeah, there's a nuke about to hit. You got a day. Oh, okay, let me get the fuck out of here. Well, we don't want to cause a panic. Well, no, let's kill everybody. That's much better than causing a panic. Unbelievable. So that's what we have. So again, the gold is your lifeboat. And don't get back on the boat. And we're trying to get off the boat. That's the whole key to everything here. So we can see the gold's about to go up. Very good. We are set to make a lot of money. No risk. The question is, what is the money going to look like? It should be gold back, but we're too stupid here to have any gold. The rest of the world all has gold, but the U.S., yeah, our 8,000 tons in Fort Knox is all bullshit. It's all Chinese money because they bought it from us. So we have no gold. What are we, a bunch of fucking idiots? How do we not have gold? And then Hitler knows about it, and Russia and China know about it, but the U.S. doesn't know about it. That's the other problem when you have the wrong people in charge. You have all this idiots putting us into war in the Ukraine, which is really a hidden thing of all the oil and minerals that are in the Ukraine in those specific cities, right? In Odessa, in Donetsk, in Kharkov, and in that Crimea. That's where all the oil and minerals are. And that's exactly where the war is taking place. So why don't you negotiate it out instead of they got it? But why is that ours? It's not ours. We have our own oil and minerals here that we don't use. Alaska's got a ton of it, but we don't want to drill there. What the fuck is that? Well, we don't want to drill in Alaska. We want to take the Ukraine. Okay. That makes no sense. So that's what we have. It's a lot of bullshit run by a bunch of idiots, power hungry, corrupt. This is the problem with the whole game plan right now. Imagine a football game and all the refs are corrupt and they all, which is mostly what happens, but so that's what you have is a football game that's not following the rules and the refs are all corrupt. They're the judges. They're all corrupt. And the owners are corrupt, and half the players are corrupt. They're not trying, and then the ref marks it short of a first down, and Then instant replay shows he clearly caught the ball, and they say, no, it's incomplete. What the fuck? I saw it with my own eyes. Well, we'll make up the story. I was watching the World Series, I don't know, 74, 75. There's a tag, and the guy never came close to tagging him, and he called him out. He said, well, he tagged his hat. It was like, he didn't even come close to it. What are you talking about? So anyway, it's just there's a lot of bad systems in place. What do I tell you? I teach you systems. I teach you variables, how to bet a football game, how to bet a baseball game. And I give you the formulas and the systems. We're betting Chris Sale with his, 13-3 record, or we're betting Rangers Suarez, or we're betting on Mahomes and Joe Burrow. And that's the thing. So I give you the formula so it works anywhere, but you've got the formula. But that's not what's happening in the government. There's no good formula for it. So you're fucked. And we're the one who pays. Oh, we're going to raise your taxes. Why am I even being taxed? You don't have a right to tax me. I earn that money on a barter. I do finance and they pay me for it. Okay, give me a Mercedes instead of paying me then. That's fine. But why are you taxing me? I win the lottery. What do you mean you get 50% of my tax because it's income? How the fuck do you get any of my money from winning the lottery? That you don't get anything there. So it's really just stupid. What goes on? It's really absolutely insanity, and most people are in the dark in the matrix and don't know what they're getting fucked over. They don't ask the question, why are you doing this? Or they feel, if I do ask the question, I can't really do anything about it. And then I love how they say, well, you voted for Biden. I didn't vote for Biden. I'm stuck with him, but I didn't vote for him. So let my guy go in. I'll run my country. My country will be very successful. We'll have gold and very limited taxes and very limited government and good laws, right? Good business. My government's better. My country's better than your country. Well, we're going to have real high taxes. Imagine selling that. We're going to have real high taxes and we won't have gold. Yeah, I don't think I want to live on your country. And yet everybody's in the U.S. living under this false pretense that it's something that it used to be and not. Nobody's looking at today. I remember I was in Germany. No, I was in Barcelona. Me and Jenna and Jenna's friend and Jenna's friend's boyfriend. And he was American, so they thought we'd get along. And they don't know. I didn't get along. And we're talking, and I said, well, the U.S. is communist now. And he says, no, I don't agree with that. I go, we are. I mean, look at it. We're controlled. There's no free speech. We're getting taxed to death. What are you talking about? Yes, we are communist. Not officially we're a communist country, but we're acting like we're a communist country. And he didn't even get it. And that's the point. They don't even know what's going on. People don't know we're a communist country now because there's no free speech. There's no money. The money's gone. It all goes to the government. And they're ruining the economy. They're ruining the money. They're ruining the laws. Oh, if you didn't vote, you voted for Trump. Oh, we're going to throw you in jail. High taxes and bad government. So, yeah, that's what a communist country is. They tell you what to do. You don't make any money. You get taxed to death, and you have no say. And you can't argue against the government. The government is what the government is. There's no you can't speak out against it. Imagine this was the problem in Nazi Germany. Everybody said, well, you put Hitler in charge. Well, you think they had a choice? They had gun control, so they took the guns so nobody could defend themselves against the SS. Hitler takes over. If you don't say Heil Hitler, you're gone. They would have put you in prison or killed you because you're disrespecting the guy, the leader. Sure means leader. So you're disrespecting, and that's the problem. He's a madman. He kills his own people, kills his own soldiers. it was gun control. It was a nightmare. That's fascism. Nazi was it's a socialist, fascist. The government is military and the government runs the market, right? So there's no free market there. And he stole so much gold. I mean, if you watch the Monument Man, it's just tons and tons of gold that he stole. Basically, it was the mafia. He's just like, okay, we'll have this army. We'll call a war, but we're just going into all these countries to steal their gold. Czechoslovakia and Poland and Belgium and France and everywhere he went, it was to steal the gold. That was it. So I don't know if Russia had a lot of gold, or I don't know the purpose of trying to have war with Russia. Really didn't make any sense. The only way he could lose is to be that stupid. I think he wanted the oil. That's why he was in North Africa. He was looking for Egypt's oil. But they don't have natural resources in Germany. They don't really have a waterway, so it was kind of hard. They had to go somewhere to get into like Amsterdam, where that's right. It's a big shipping port. Rotterdam's the biggest shipping port in the world, I believe. And so he probably had to go there to ship. But he really didn't. Did he know why he was doing it? We're going to control the world. You don't control it militarily. You control it financially. China's got the answer. We got all the gold. We control the world, and they do. And that's the answer. Or George Soros. Well, we can't take over. We can't beat America in a war, but we can take over internally, and we put all these judges that are corrupt, and the whole government is corrupt. Biden's on the Chinese payroll. Where does it say that your president can take $30 million from the Chinese and that's okay? Where's that reported? But that's fine. He can, take money from our forget if they're enemies or not. You can't take money. This whole lobbyist thing, you can't take bribes to do what they want. Where's that? That's not the point of the government. It's to represent the people. I'm electing you to do what I want. That's the point. Not I'm electing you so you can do what you want and not care about me. Well, I'm the one who elected you. If any of the elections are even real, they're all fixed from George Soros. So you can see I don't like this George Soros because he's a very corrupt murderer. So it's not. You don't want him in charge. That's why it's so hard to have a country when all the corruption comes in and all the evil comes in, and we're just sitting here in the matrix going, well, whatever they say. I hate when people do that. Whatever they say. No, it's not whatever they say. Think. Use your fucking brain. You should ask the questions. What's going on? And then we need to devise a way to protect ourselves. So being an economist, the way is gold. Gold and silver will protect you from all this bullshit. But you got to be quiet about it. You can't let them know. And if you need to take it, that's why I got them in those little white containers now. If I need to go take 10 ounces of gold or put a few of them in my pocket, I got gold, I'm fine. Especially when the price goes to the moon. And that's how you win the game. So let's call it a game. How do we win the game? Gold and silver win you the game. That's the point of it. Because you can't fight the corruption. We're too small. And we can't just sit there and say, well, we're not going to do anything. Well, okay, we'll have to pay the taxes. Now, if I got gold, I don't have to work. I don't have any taxes. I don't have any money. Nothing in a bank account. No, I don't have anything. You got gold, but you don't know about that, and you're not going to find out. And that's really the key to it. Is it's a hidden wealth that you are protected. So you're like I said, it's like a protector, as Egon calls it, wealth preservation, where it's really just you have wealth now in this, and then you're just protecting. You got 1 million of these. Well, if I turn it into gold, now then this is worthless. The gold's going to give me $1 million of protection. And that's really what you want, because you can't deal with the government. It's too corrupt. There's nothing you can do. And if you speak out against Hitler, he's going to kill you. So you can't speak out. So you just shut the fuck up and you have your gold and you take a nice flight and see you later, guys. The problem is finding a place that isn't corrupt. It's impossible. So all you can do is go to a BRICS country where there's at least gold-backed currency. So at least the currency is your freedom, right? Money is your freedom. Yeah, I know. I can't take it to the fucking grocery store and buy anything with it. Yeah, you're gonna take this to the grocery store. What do you think you're gonna buy with it? So that's really the key that you must understand. The money, the gold is the goal. That wins the game. If I play one of these video games and you're trying to collect the gold or whatever, only we're doing it live, and you have to. The gold, silver protects you. You can win the game. You can get out of the game, get away from the corruption, but then you got to find a quiet little place that you won't be bothered, and you'll have your gold, and you'll be fine. That's about as straightforward as I can make it. How to get out of the matrix, or how to get out of this corrupt country we're in. It's a corrupt world, though. It doesn't matter where you go. It's not like any better. Is Russia going to be? Look at Ukraine. Is Italy? No. Spain? No. Germany? No. They're all corrupt. They're all broke. So they're gonna, you're fucked. So that's why you got to go to a BRICS country where there are the BRICS gold-backed currency. But you don't want to go to Venezuela. You don't want to go to any of these, bad countries with the dictators. How the fuck do you have dictators? Where did that come from? Yeah, we're gonna have one guy tell us what to do. Oh my God, I don't need anybody telling me what to do. So it's a hard game to find the place to live that really has no gun control and free markets. You got to find a place with free markets and no gun control. Gun control, all that means is the military has the guns and the crooks have the guns and you don't, and they know you don't, so they can come in and kill you, aka the Nazis. There was gun control there. They'd walk into your house. You're going onto these trains. You're going to the concentration camp. But if we had our own, if the people had their guns, they could have fought. And then the SS wouldn't be so brave to walk into your house knowing that you didn't have guns. That's the problem with gun control. And they keep trying to make a big deal about it. Well, Joey got shot at school. What the fuck are people getting shot at school? Where's this coming from? Is this planned? Is this real that people are what? Somebody is going into the school with a gun, nobody's noticing, and just shooting up a classroom. Yeah, this is real. And where's this coming from? Is this a setup? Is this somebody who wants gun control, like the government, setting this up? Is this real? Somebody's going to go in and do this? Come on. You're going to steal. I get it, but you're not going to a school, maybe a bank. But why would you go to a school and start shooting kids? Like, if that's a problem, then we got to get rid of public schools and go to private schools where you don't run into that. Then you actually have students who want to learn. It's like going to a library. Well, only people that want to read go to the library, not people with guns. You don't hear anybody shooting people at libraries, right? So it's got to be a place with no gun control, because then you don't know if I have one or not. And you can't take it away. You can't arrest me for having a gun. And then you have much more freedom with no gun control than with gun control. As soon as you bring in gun control, it's like bringing in the Federal Reserve and getting off of gold. It's all the same thing. You're fucked as soon as that happens. So that's what you try to avoid. And the professor's island will be we're going gold standard, no gun control. So that's my thinking. I don't know where you go for that, but this whole dictator and Nazis and socialism and communism is all bad. The whole government structure is really bad. The early Romans had it where they had one president 1 month and another one another, and they kept rotating it back. No one man should have too much power. How the fuck does that get into a dictator? Where does that even come from when no man can have too much power? The Romans, and then it turns into Hitler and Stalin and Mussolini and all these people are dictators. Where does that come from? Believe me, the people didn't. I watch a movie and like The Great Escape, and they'll go, well, you voted him in or something. They didn't vote him in. Hitler didn't get voted in. He just took it. He killed everybody, and then he said, I'm taking charge. And what were you going to do? The army was going to shoot you. So I guess he's in charge. How the fuck does that happen, right? So you got to have a good system, which is, that's why our system's the best before it's corrupted. The George Washington system's good, but not Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin. I don't know what this is. This has got nothing to do. We'll have lobbyists and they'll all pay off the politicians to do what they want. And we'll have all this corruption, and the president will take money from China, and we'll have a central bank we're not supposed to have, and we'll print the money to zero, which we're not supposed to do. We won't use gold and silver, which is totally illegal. What the fuck is going on? Like, just ignore everything that should be happening. So we know what it should be, right? I've given you that direction. So a good country. What we're looking for, a strong country. 1, lower taxes. 2, lower government spend to budget. 3, a gold standards. 4, free trade. 5, a constitution for the laws. And a small army to defend ourselves, only to defend ourselves, not to attack, just as a defense. That's the country I want to live in. Does that exist? Good luck finding it, but that's what the U.S. started to be, was that country. So if they don't have the gold standard, it doesn't matter. We're buying the gold as quick. So really, the silver lining of this whole COMEX bullshit is the gold's waiting for us. It's still 2,300, 2,400 an ounce. And that's really the key, is that, why did that happen? Oh, potential spam just called me. I love now my phone saying potential spam. So where did that come from? How do we get so far away from what our initial goal is? That's the problem. So we've lost our freedoms, only nobody knows. We've lost our money. We've lost our government. It doesn't exist. It's corrupt as hell. The military, they just want to go to, why are we at war with Russia and in Israel and going for China? And it's all bullshit. There'll never be war with China, and there'll never be war with Russia. There'll never be war in the Middle East. It's all bullshit. It's just talk. But what kind of army? Why do we have such a big army? Why are they in all these countries? It's got nothing to do with us. Get the fuck out. Just you guard the U.S. That's it. Well, I hate these movies. Well, we had to do the oil to help the U.S. Like day 5 of 24, where, well, we did the oil deal with the Russians or whoever to, ensure our oil will be there. Like, the fuck? And you just buy it. It's a free market. They sell it. We'll buy it from them. We have a bunch of oil. Let's just dig it up. So that's the problem. And it's very, very, we're in a very, very corrupt situation, as is most of the world. And it's all crumbling because it doesn't work. And I don't think any of the elections are real. Like, whoever is in the election in November, I don't think it's a real election. I don't think it'll be a fair election. I think Soros will do what he did last time and just, Biden needs 400,000 votes in Michigan. He got 401,000 at 4 a.m. How about that? Can we even get real elections with real results? I don't know. We're living in a very corrupt world, and the only way to the matrix is gold is our pill to get out and try to lay low where we can find some freedom and live our quiet lives out, because that's it. But that's what you need to do, is you must get the gold and silver, because they don't tell you the dollar's worthless. Again, it's like the nuclear bombs coming out. Should we tell the people? No, we don't want to have a panic. We won't tell anybody they're all about to get nuked. And that's the thing here. We're not going to tell everybody that their money's worthless. We don't want to create a panic, a frenzy. So we're not going to tell anybody that the US dollar is worth zero right now. So you can't protect yourself either. We don't want a frenzy. We want you in the dollar as it goes to zero. I mean, that's the bullshit that you got to listen to. That's why I'm telling you what is happening. You can make your own decision, of course, but that's why the guy in Canada should have bought $400,000 worth of gold instead of a fucking house. The house will go to zero. The gold will never go to zero. He could have retired and lived a happy life, especially since Canada's got the problems they have, or any country, right? So when I was in Berlin, the Germans were like, yeah, we know about gold. Yeah, because we got fucked over in World War II, and we know all about it. The Russians know about gold too. I'm sure the Chinese do. But that's your out. That's your freedom. And don't tell anybody you got gold, because you won't keep it then. So you're real quiet. I got gold. I can survive and find a happy place, because it'll be worth so much money. It's ridiculous. And that's the out. But we're able, because of COMEX and the bullshit. We found the silver lining, that they kept the gold price and silver at $30 an ounce. This is your freedom. This is your get out of jail free card, and it's $30 an ounce. They fucked up. They don't want you in gold and silver, so don't tell you about it. They keep the price down, so there's no demand for it. Because in a free market, it would be $2,000 an ounce by now. So you have the opportunity to get it at $30. And then some people go, well, I don't believe you. No, we're going to be the reserve currency. No, gold, silver, they don't go up. Yeah, because they're all priced. That's what I'm saying. It's paper, it's gone, and we're going to a free market, supply and demand, and the price will go up. But they don't want to tell you that either. So you have the incredible opportunity to buy this stuff very cheap, and I just, as much as you can buy. It's your out. It's your get out of jail free card, is the gold and silver. But nobody will tell you that, and nobody will explain it to you. Like Bobby's trying to talk to his daughter, and the daughter's like, well, why do I want gold? I can't eat it. I can't take it to the grocery store, because what do you want me to say? It's the only thing. It's kept low, which is great. You take advantage. And you can't use this because this is gone. Again, I showed you the Nazis. I showed you the English against the French, 1795. They printed so much of the money, it became worthless. What are we doing? And now that we've lost the petrodollar, all the money's coming back. Crash stock market, crash houses, crash the US dollar, crash the economy. How many crashes do you want to see? Oh, I don't believe you, Howard. No, you're not telling me that, I don't believe you. Gold's not going anywhere. Okay, don't believe me, but you figure it out. I figured it out. What else do you want to know about it? And that's really, do you trust the corrupt government? We're in bed with the Chinese. Do you want to trust them? Do you want to trust George Soros and the Nazis? I don't think so. Anyway, you've got, the elite who are in money, who are all going to go broke, and I can't wait. That's why I'm happy that they'll go, like Warren Buffett will go broke, and I'm happy about that, because he's an ass. He's not helping anybody, and he thinks he knows what he's talking about. The Warren Buffett stock picks. We don't give a fuck. You don't know how to. You don't stock pick. What you do is you buy a lot of shares of Coca-Cola or Disney. Like, that's not buying stock. That's buying a company. because you stole the money in your insurance company. Because all insurance is thieves. It's all bullshit. You shouldn't have it. Anyway, so that's what we've got. Gold going up. Let's check it out. So if you can get this Tom Brady card with a couple ounces of gold, I highly recommend it. It's funny is the cards will not lose their value, especially a Brady or a Jordan or a Mantle. All right, we're at 6 o'clock. We are at 24.11. 24.11, we survived 24. Silver 30.79. Lost 60 cents today. But this is our out. This is our freedom. So understand that. All right, I guess that's it. Remember, inflation kills the dollars. That's why the central bank is there. The banks run the government. George Soros runs the banks. We're pretty fucked. It's very corrupt. It's not a good thing. So just lay low and shut the fuck up and just be the smartest man in the room. And you'll be fine. You know about gold. I've told you. So now you're the smartest guy in the room because you're going, I got gold and silver. And I bet nobody else here does. Right. And then we got to find the escape. So like Money Heist, we've stolen the gold, but how do we get the people out of the Bank of Spain? We turn it into copper or brass and blackmail them. So that's what we got to do. We got to make how do we escape this nightmare? And that's what we needed the gold to escape. So anyway, be very careful. Have a wonderful night. I will see you tomorrow about 11. We'll talk gold. We always talk gold. We'll talk football and the baseball games for tomorrow. And really just try to educate yourself. Just ask me questions. I mean, we're just trying to learn. And we learn a lot by, well, how did the Roman Empire fuck up? And then how did the French? And if the answer is they all took the gold and inflated their money. And as soon as you lost your money, that was the end. As soon as you have heavy inflation and the money's worthless, there's no economy. How do people survive? And they ended up going back on the farms so they could eat. So that's really the problem. So think about your escape routes, and get as much gold and silver. Just get it, just as much as you can possibly. And put the gold in the container in the plastics. You put them in these plastic things, and then put them in the white tubes that the silver come in, and just makes it very easy to hide a tube, right? It's like I could hide these very easily, but I can put them in the plane. I can put them in my pocket and walk around Switzerland with 5 ounces of gold at $30,000-$40,000 an ounce, and nobody knows. And that's what you want to do. So anyway, have a good night. Enjoy. I hope you learn. According to Mark McGuire, then we're getting much higher, $3,000 gold on its way to 20,000. And silver should be moving soon. It got to 30, keeps getting beat back from 35. But the key is the demand and people wanting the physical. That's the key to it. So as more people demand the physical, say goodbye to COMEX and say hi to the Shanghai derivatives because they want them to go up. So here we're shorting them. We want the price to go down. Shanghai wants the price to go up. And here you need to have the physical gold for that, and silver. We still have a mess until we figure out how to get the silver free. But that's what you're looking at. So please be careful. Please be quiet. I don't have any gold. What are you talking about? You don't want people to know you have the get out of jail free card. Your family, but that's it. And just understand that gold should be $20,000 an ounce, and we're able to get it for 2,400. Well, 2,500 now. If I go to the store tomorrow, it's 2,500, and should be 25,000. Silver should be at least 2,000, and it's $30. But you got to understand that it's going to go up because of BRICS and because of this whole inflation. That's what you have to understand, because if you just keep with the same variables, you're going, yeah, it hasn't gone up. It's price fixed. So why would I buy it? It's not going to go anywhere. Well, it's changed. The variables have changed. That's the point. If Mahomes went to Oakland, you can say, well, Oakland hasn't done anything in 10 years. Yeah, but now they got Mahomes. And Kansas City wins a couple of Super Bowls, but now if he's gone, Kansas City ain't going to do shit. Kansas City's, it's because of Mahomes. So it's gold is because of BRICS and inflation, why gold's going to go up. Not what happened the prior 30, 40 years with COMEX, where it's fixed. Now it's broken, and now the whole new variables are out there. And that's what you need to understand. If you're playing poker, good luck this weekend. Enjoy the pool, stay cool, and at least go buy 10 ounces of silver or something. You can't, you can't have enough. Just keep buying it. So anyway, have a nice night, everybody. www.teaserking.com. You can get my email if you like. And otherwise, I am going to have some dinner and go relax. Probably go walk the lake. All right. Take care, everybody.